This is it. 105,000 US doll hairs is the estimated cost of the new Corvette Z06. Welcome back to another episode Between Two Fenders. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the pricing of the Corvette Z06. I wanted to give it a day. I just wanted to see some of the reactions. I think fully loaded it gets up to like 133,000 US dollars, which is like 425,000 Canadian beavers. Like, I think that's the direct comparison. I don't know. Whatever, it's up there. So everybody's getting a little like, holy smokes, that's so expensive, because the base model started at 60 grand, but you know, destination and all the other fees, and then they put a $25,000 markup on all the cars. Like, to get one below 90,000 US is pretty far few in between. So the Z06 comes out. Everybody's drooling. It's got the motor they wanted. It's got the transmission they wanted, except for the manual. But it's kind of like a dream machine. It's a track weapon. It's got the flat plane crank. It's got 600 plus horsepower. It sounds obnoxious. Everything about it is super cool. The looks are super cool. Like, everybody's excited, and then they see the price, and they're like, whoa. But hold on. It's 105 to like 135,000 US. And if you compare that to the C7 Z06, it's just incrementally more. I mean, Z06 came out in 2017, I believe, for the C7. So we're another 6-7 years down the road. They've got more money put in because the previous Z06 had the same motor as the Corvette and the Cadillac. So the unique features were far and few between. I mean, they're still running it. I think it just came out the Escalade. Like, it's easier to sell cheap cars for cheaper when you use the same parts and everything. So it comes out with a Corvette-only hand-built motor. Everybody's like, yeah, that's what I want. I want the Ferrari-like experience, but I don't want Ferrari prices. And then they see the price and they go, whoa. But if you look at the cost of a new Ferrari and you're like, $300,000, and you're like, holy smokes, like, inflation. This is just how it works. Things are more expensive to build and produce this year than they were 5 years ago, so costs are up. They've now done more R&D and put more energy into new things that everybody wants, but then the price tag reflects it and everybody pulls back. Like, you can't do that. That would just be absolutely ridiculous. Well, newsflash, folks, that's how it works. I actually thought the pricing was right in line with where it should be. If it's too cheap, you know the car's going to have tons of problems. The original C7 Z06, when it came out, heats up. Like, take it around the track, you get 3/4 of one lap, the thing overheats, starts spewing coolant, goes into limp mode, your whole day's ruined. I have been at the track with these cars, and I have run circles around them in my Camaro. Bone stock, SS, running circles around them because I don't have heat problems. They're out there overheating in limp mode. They might get 1 lap, they might get 2 laps, and I'm out there for 40 minutes just hauling. And I'm like, I mean, this is what happens. Had they spent another year, charged another $5 grand for the cars, maybe that wouldn't have happened. But, you know, everybody's got to complain about everything. So I thought it was quite justified. Now, obviously, the price arriving at dealerships, and this is one thing I really loved about Chevrolet, is the Z01s were coming in and going out, the Z06s were coming in, going out, and there was no markups. People were just buying them at or below sticker as all these new cars, and they're ordering them, and the dealerships aren't putting markups. But to buy a new GT350, because I had some friends look at them, and it was like, if you're not willing to put $20,000 over sticker, they don't even have one. If you can, there's one in the back. That was just how it worked. Ford just felt like their shit don't stink. Their cars are too good. They can charge whatever they want, and they were. Dodge, I mean, I feel like people wouldn't throw a nickel at them to buy a Dodge. I seen brand new Hellcats that were listed at 90. They were putting them out the door for 65,000 Canadian beavers. Like, that is dirt cheap. That is a lot of car. Not so much the case now because the red eyes have upped the price and the wide bodies and all that. They're like 120, and I think they're selling for like 120, 130 now. But back 4 or 5 years ago, absolutely, you could go in and basically steal a Hellcat off the showroom floor. It was absolutely ridiculous. They couldn't give them away. But GM was kind of in the middle. They had the cars people wanted, but they weren't charging markup, so they were still flowing through dealerships, and dealerships were more or less just happy to get allocations, never mind worrying about markup and whatever else. So that kind of changed, obviously, with the chip shortage and the pandemic and this, and the plant got hit by a tornado, I think, and crushed a bunch of them and messed up a part of their finishing production facility or something. I don't know. I try not to follow the news too much, but I do follow some of it. And lo and behold, availability gets a little scarce. Some dealerships are putting $20,000-$25,000 markups on it, and not calling them markups. They ceramic coated it, so they give you a $3,000 ceramic coating. They charge you $20,000, but you can get the car. Cool, you got the car. Go home. Drives me nuts. I think it is so criminal that dealerships do this. It should be that, like, this is the MSRP. This is the MSRP. That's what you have the option to pay with no fudgery. Like, I have an OMVIC license. I understand the legality and all that, but they just charge for extras. It has a dealership convenience package, and this drove me nuts about John Bear, New Hamburg when I worked there, because they would get a truck in and put $4,000 in accessories immediately. So someone comes in and they want to buy a $48,000 Silverado, crew cab, short box, custom, nothing like bench seats, fabric, nothing fancy, just a Silverado custom trim, so it's base model, and they want to spend $48,000, like they built it on the website, and it's $52,000. Well, we put running boards and we put this, and like, they don't want it. They can't take it off the truck because it's already been built to the truck. So now you have to try and sell them on, and it just created this like just evolution of awful. But the parts department has to meet their quotas for sales. So if they don't load every truck, they don't need it. And then we get kickbacks for selling it. So we obviously want to sell it. And I have no issues charging somebody more money for stuff they want. But when people are specifically telling you they don't want it, it didn't make any sense to me. And unfortunately, if I bought a new Corvette, if I had the money and I walked in and I said, I want a Z06, here's my money. They said it's 375,000 Canadian beavers, and there's a $40,000 beaver charge to get your ceramic coat done. I would say negative. You're going to send it to this shop, right? Yeah, those are our guys. They're not my guy. My guy, Ontario Car Detailing. Check him out on social media. Check him out on Instagram. Patrick, I mean, he's my guy. He uses words I understand. He does a phenomenal job. He's exceptional. If I'm going to pay somebody any quantity of money, whether it's $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000 to do a job, I'm taking it to my guy. I learned from having my car tinted. The dealership threw tint in when I bought my car. They have their guy come in and tint it, and then the tint peels off the windows. I've never even heard of this happening, but a professional tint shop did it. It peeled off the windows. I took it to my guy. He walked out, looked at my car from 60 feet away, said they used garbage tint. Like, we used 3M, high performance, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, how do you know? And he's like, and he starts explaining the advantages and the UV and how it affects the leathers over you. And I'm like, well, why didn't they use that? Because they didn't call us, and this is how it goes. Somebody would do it for $10 cheaper, they cheaped out. So if I had my choice, like, buy the car, get it home, take it to my guys, and get the proper stuff put on the first time. And I know everybody will disagree about, oh, well, this tint's fine, and this tint's fine, and you're right. But if I'm going to spend X amount of dollars, I want the best value, the best products for that money. And if I'm going to spend $20,000 on ceramic coat, or I could take it to Ontario Car Detailing and get it done for $5,000. Like, I don't know the cost. I'm just spitballing. But if I could get it done for $5,000 with the best products on the market, with the best equipment from somebody who really, really cares and isn't, been doing it for 3 months and this is their summer job, they're ceramic coating cars. Like, he's been doing this for many years and done his research and put his time in, and the results speak for themselves. So it irritates me to the ends of the earth that they're charging to have a system put on a car that you don't know anything about, right? If you go to your buddies later and you're like, oh, I have my car ceramic coated, and they look at it and they're like it's not lasting like it did on my truck, and my truck went to Ontario Car Detailing and they use these products and yours isn't lasting the same. Why? What products do they use? Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about it. Like, that's the problem. That's where I keep going, and I'm like, right? Put new tires on your car. It says what the tire is on the side. You can look up reviews. You know how they performed on other cars, et cetera, et cetera. Like, they're selling blind products to people, and they don't even know if it's ceramic coated. They could have just put a wax on it and called it a day and been like, well, you should have got it. You should have got it touched up at some point down the road, but you didn't, so it came off the car. It's been 3 weeks of stored in my garage. Again, you don't know. You're assuming that what they've told you is factual, and they've already way overcharged and gouged you for the products to begin with. Who's to say they're not continuing doing that? So, now my little rant's over about how much I despise dealerships and a lot of the terminologies they use to keep things legal but kind of screw over their customers. I anticipate that $105,000 Z06 to be 130, 140 with markups, because dealerships are just doing it. They just don't care. It's not about customer and reputation and like selling 10 times the amount of cars. It's about selling that one car for 40 grand over. And you then get into the 3LTs with the, I don't even know the terminologies of a lot of this stuff anymore, because I just kind of stopped caring. But you get the track packs and you get the carbon fiber rims and the wing, and you get a few of the more fancier items. I wouldn't be shocked to see these cars at $200,000, right? And it's pay the money or go find it elsewhere. Well, nobody else has it, so pay the money or don't buy it. Those are your options. Like, that to me is not a conducive market. The Z06 will hold an enormous amount of value because it's no longer competing. Like, people would argue, oh, the C7 Z06 and the Shelby GT500 and the Hellcat Red Eye, like, it's no longer applicable. Mid-engine, flat plane crank, over 600 horse, center of gravity, track performance, weight distribution, like, it's in another realm. It's in Lamborghini territory. It's in Ferrari territory. And it's still so cheap that it will hold so much value. Do I think it will hold the value of the markup? No. That part you're going to have to swallow. But if you spend 140 grand on one now, I wouldn't be shocked if in 4, 5, 6 years it's worth 140 grand. That's, again, just my opinion, but people paying way over markup, they're just losing their money. And it's no different than trucks. People going in and, well, they don't have any trucks. So this one truck they have that you like is $5,000 over sticker, but that truck will still depreciate like you paid $5,000 under sticker. Like, the pandemic and the chip shortage just put everybody in this panic mode of spend when they're just going to lose their shirt later, and they're going to look at it and go, well, I bought a truck and it depreciated over 50% of its value. No, it didn't. It was marked up. You paid markup, and now it depreciated like it normally would have, as though you didn't. I mean, I guess good on the dealerships for finding loopholes around legal rules and terminologies that they don't like. So that, I guess, is a positive. I have no idea. So that's it for me. The Corvette Z06 pricing is spot on. The markups will break my heart, but there's nothing I can do about that. Till next time. Top Hat Plus, between two fenders. More to come. Subscribe. Smash that like button. Let's get this going.